never ends with Aunt Molly and friends. The fun never ends with Aunt Molly and friends.
Welcome back, boys and girls. Our subject today that we're going to discuss is about important information that you need to know as children. Rusty, I think you can help us with this too.
Yeah.
But first of all, do any of you children have in mind what information that you need to know about yourselves in order to go out in the world? Yes, Katie?
Your parents' name.
Your parents' names, okay? Their first name and their last name? Yes. Carissa?
You need to know phone numbers.
Okay, your parents' phone numbers, definitely. That's very, very important. Zach?
Address.
Yes, your address. It's important to know your name, because sometimes when you're small enough, or if you're in a situation that might be kind of scary, it might even be easy to forget your name. So you have to remember your first and last name, your parents' first and last names, your address, where do you live? Not just the city, but where is your street address? Where do you live? And then the phone numbers, your parents' phone numbers. Rusty, have you ever been lost where you felt that you needed to know what your name was and where Aunt Molly lived?
Oh, yeah. You know that sometimes if we go to, say, the store or maybe like a library, someplace that's really big and has lots of places that you can get lost in, it can be hard to find someone, especially like you, Aunt Molly.
Yes.
And so it's always okay to go up to a trusted adult and say that you're lost and tell them your name and who your parent or guardian is.
And I think it's even important when you're out and about in the world and to remember what your parent is wearing. Are they wearing a purple shirt like Aunt Molly? Are they wearing a red shirt like Rusty? What identifying features do they have on them so that you can help someone, a person in charge in a store or a trusted adult, help you find your parent or your guardian if you're lost from them? Have any of you ever had experience where you've been lost from an adult? Yes, Carissa?
This was long back when me, Katie, and Aaron and Zach, we were in the store, and then our mom was looking at something, and then we were looking at something else, and then we just looked around, and then we didn't know where our mom was.
That can be kind of a scary situation, can it? To not know where your parent is. And that's where it's easy to have that happen because, especially in a store, if you're in an aisle where there, for instance, are toys that you're very interested in, and you forget about maybe where your mom or your dad are, that you just want to stay right there, and then all of a sudden, no one's there anymore. Then you have to start looking in, and that's where it's very important to know your identification. Right, Rusty?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's important that we know the information, but we shouldn't just share it with anybody.
Exactly.
I mean, if a stranger comes up to you and asks you what your parents' name is or what your phone number is, if they're not a trusted adult, I don't think we should share that.
I agree, and that can be a hard thing to call on because you don't know if they're a trusted adult. They may act like it, but not. And so it's a fine line sometimes that we have to really work through with that. So the best thing is just to know that information of your identification and not get lost, isn't it? I know some of my adult friends, when they take their children to an amusement park or a big place like that where it's easy to get separated from your children, they will take a picture of their children that when they get to the park or wherever they're at. That way, they have it documented on the camera what their child was wearing. Just in case they get separated from each other, they have that on camera. You know, it's very wise to know your parents' names because even though you know them as mommy and daddy, when it comes to a situation, if you're lost, you need to be able to know what their first and last names are. So guys, boys and girls, we are so glad that you joined us today. And remember, always memorize your address, your mommy and daddy's first and last names.
And the telephone number.
And your telephone number. Very important information. Thanks for joining us, kids. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Come on over to my big
If you would like to be in the studio audience of Aunt Molly and Friends, just have a grown-up Go to AuntMollyOmaha.com for tickets.
Aunt Molly and Friends is taped in front of a live studio audience at the Mall of the Bluffs in Council Bluffs, Iowa.